Hello and welcome to Back Bedroom Art. It's me, Paul again. Now you are about to watch the second of my two resin fail videos that I made about 6 months ago. Like I said in the previous video, I put them onto my Life of Paul channel. Didn't really fit there because this is more my arty channel, so I've moved them over to here. And yeah, if you've not seen it, you're in for a treat. It's the second of my resin fail videos, so watch it and learn how not to make resin art. Although I don't think it turned out too badly. I am quite proud really of this one. So yeah, and also again, I was very nervous making this one because it's my first ever video. So be gentle with me, be gentle. So sit back and enjoy as I make another mess.
Right, as you can probably see, I got another watch. This time there's going to be some changes to how I cast this one in resin. Last time, as you saw, was a complete disaster. Right, I've put this outside because I don't know if you can see this, but the amount of smoke coming off it makes me think this is too much has been poured in one go. Main reasons being, I think I tried too big a mould for what I was trying to achieve, which wasted a lot of resin. I didn't secure the mould that I made properly with the glue, so there was leakage. Oh dear, we had a leak. Just goes to show how important it is to seal it with glue. Then when I filled up the casing with resin, I poured too much in and it overheated, which caused the watch to melt and end up with, I'm not going to say a complete disaster, because I am quite weirdly proud and fascinated by this, but it wasn't what I was trying to achieve. So this time, with this watch, it's going to be smaller. I'm not going to try with the blue dye. Just going to use clear. Just going to cast it with clear and see if I can get one of these watches, one of these cheap and cheerful £5 watches, encased in resin and see if it still works. But giving it every opportunity to work. The heat generated by all this resin was just way too much. So yeah, I think the first thing to do is make a new mould. Okay, so here we go. And here's our watch, and I got the length that I really need. I'm quite happy with that. So just really, I'm going to cut this piece of perspex in half. I do like these boards with all the lines. Makes cutting a lot easier. Let's put those in there. Now make sure it's nice and secure. Last side. And all I've got to do is secure it onto this with hot glue, making sure I absolutely coat it. So there's going to be no leakage this time. Okay, so now time to put the glue on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to really lather it on. So if you think I've been wasteful, it's because of a past experience, as you saw earlier. So without further ado, let's get this bad boy secured and sealed. Like I said on the previous video, I think a lot of life is all about trial and error. And if you try something and you fail, or it doesn't work out how you thought it would, you'll at least learn from the experience, which will make you more likely to succeed the next time, or in the next thing that you put your mind to. So I am forever learning these little things that I do. And I don't mind the odd mistake. I mean, as long as there's no harm done, obviously. And yes, I'm very much aware that time and money goes into doing these things. But you can't expect to succeed and be brilliant when you first time out. Right, so I've just mixed up another batch of resin. So I'll move that all out of the way. And then it's just a case of stirring it up. Now this resin is for use at the bottom. I'm going to be adding in the stones and making the stone base that I did last time. And then hopefully, well, I don't know why I'm saying hopefully, then what I will be doing is setting some stones into it to give it the effect again of a riverbed and set the watch into it. And then that way it will look again like it's come to settle at the bottom of a riverbed. I'm not too worried again about stirring and getting bubbles in this because it will be full of these stones. The thing I'm really concerned about, and I think it's more paranoia than anything, is that my case doesn't leak. Shouldn't be a problem as long as I sealed it, and I took the time on sealing it. So rather than have you watch me stirring away for 3 or 4 minutes, we'll skip to the bit where I've finished stirring and I'll add in the stones. Okay, I think that's enough stirring for now. So again, I'm not concerned about the bubbles in there. We're filling it up with this now. So let's add these tiny stones in. I do love the colour of these stones. And I do love the sound it makes when I'm mixing it all together. Crunchy. There we go. And again, I don't mind it not being flat because it's supposed to be a riverbed and I don't know many flat riverbeds. Well, let's just check around the outside. I can't see anything leaking out yet. Good sign. So, here's a watch. And some stones to go in as well. It's the first stage done. So I'm going to leave this till tomorrow. I'm going to give it a good 24 hours to set. And then we'll pour clear resin in. Again, last time I poured too much in, the reaction caused too much heat and everything went. So this time what I'm going to do is just pour it in stages. Okay. So the resin base is set. Watch is still working. No leaks. That so far is a success. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some resin and start filling her up. So that's 100 of A. So doing a bit of quick maths. That's 50 of B. Let's stir this up. Now, no matter how tempted I am to add a bit of blue to this, I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep it nice and simple and keep it clear. That way, when I add the second layer, I know that they're going to match up. So again, rather than watch me stir this for 5 minutes, let's cut to when I finish stirring. Okay, I think that's enough stirring. The thing about this is when you do stir, make sure you get all of the sides. Make sure you get all around the bottom, because what you don't want is any pockets of unmixed resin. Otherwise you'll end up with a sticky, gloppy mess. So the process of stirring it does add a lot of air bubbles to it, which is why it's important to do it slowly, not whisk it. Now I'm just going to leave it for a little while to let a lot of the air bubbles evaporate, and then pour it into the mould. So let's see how that goes. Okay, time for the first pour. So as you can see, watch is still working. Now I'm not intending to completely cover the watch, but I'm going to pour it onto it, so hopefully it will like seal any access points for the resin for later. Obviously this is going to be done in stages, the pour, so I'm going to have to come back and mix up another batch and fill her up and fill her up. But for now, let's do the first pour. So that's poured onto the watch, over the buttons, over the face. So, first pour done. Here's hoping that the watch carries on working. I'll set that to one side, just let that dry. Okay, so all I need to do is wait for this to set, then next batch. Right, first layer is hardened and the watch is still working. As you can see, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Right, second layer it is then. Okay, let's start by pouring it over the watch again. Ooh. As you can see, the watch is still working. Oh dear, looks like the watch died. Second pour. Oh, weird. It appears that the watch is working again. I never doubted you for 1 second. Hopefully it'll keep working. Unfortunately, I think the second layer got too hot, and as you can tell, it started folding in on itself in the corners. Watch is still working, and it's more of a success than the first one, but I think I've done the layer too thick. Oh well. One more layer and then she's finished. Okay, as you can see, she's still working. Yay! This has turned out a lot better than the last disaster, but still not perfect. I mean, obviously, wow, the watch is working. So big tick in what I was trying to achieve, and got the odd bubbles. Not really minding those. End of the day, it is supposed to be a watch that's come to rest on the bottom of a riverbed. The resin, I don't know if you can pick this up from here, relatively clear, but there's like a yellowish hue. Again, I don't mind that because it has more of a watery colour, but you can probably tell here how the resin is cured. Every time, every layer, there seemed to be a bending, and I don't know what really caused that. Whether it was too much resin, whether it was the heat, I don't know. Something to investigate. Also, I don't know if you can just see these lines between the different layers. And if you're picking that up. So again, I don't know what caused that, whether it was the time that it took to cure, or if it was just, I don't know, not correctly mixed, or it was something to do with the heat. I'm overall pretty happy with it. I mean, I've still got to take out the case, and I'm not going to waste any more resin by bringing it up to the top, but I'm pretty happy with that. I've achieved what I set out for. It's a watch in resin and still working. There's a quite nice little look to it. No? Not unhappy with it. It's obviously like a big thing over here and this corner as well, which will be interesting to see when I take the case off. But overall, yeah, I achieved what I set out to do. A watch cast in resin that's still working. Right, time to take this apart and see what we have ended up with. So there we have it. One working watch, sealed in resin. My little underwater diorama where the watches come to the rest on a riverbed. There are the odd bubbles. Particularly there. But other than that, it's turned out alright. And if I was to compare it to the disaster, which had multiple bubbles from where the watch died, I would say we have a success in our hands. So all that's left is for me to clean it up, make it more presentable, and that is our watch underwater diorama. Thank you very much for watching.